What is up, love bugs? Welcome to another day of taking my YouTube a little bit more seriously. Today I'm not actually on my way to work. It's a little bit later than when I would usually go to work, but I'm actually on my way to Tai Chi. It is Wednesday. I feel like Wednesdays are my favorite day out of the week just because of Tai Chi. I don't know, there's something that really just gets me prepared for the day, and Wednesdays at work are a little bit more hectic, so it makes it very nice. Oh man. I go to Tai Chi, and then I go to my work, and then after work I have lunch for a little while, and then I have a meeting with my podcast producer. After that meeting, I go back to work, and then I'll hit the gym after, and then I might have a phone call later this evening, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I guess today I would really like to just talk to you guys a little bit more about kind of what my experience has looked like building trust in myself, and how I knew that it was time to actually start taking trusting myself a little bit more seriously. So, okay. There hasn't, I feel like, been a point in my life before now where I've actually fully trusted myself. Like, there was the sense of trust in the sense that I knew whatever shitty situation I might find myself in, or even get myself into, that I would find a way out of it, like no matter what. Like, I knew that much, but I feel like that had more to do with confidence than it had to do with trust. When I realized that I started to need to build trust in myself is when I continually found myself in situations where I was like, this isn't good, this isn't where I want to be, this isn't how I want my life to go. And I'm very willing to relinquish a lot of control in my life and how I expect it to go. And if I lose one job, I'll cry about it for a day, but then by the end of that day, or maybe even the next day, I'm building up my resume again. I'm finding out what jobs are on the market, what certificates I might need to get, the whole 9 yards. So I'm very flexible and able to bounce back super easily. So when I'm saying that my life isn't going the way I want it to, it means that I had to first realize that I had a responsibility over my life, and I had a responsibility of how my life is going to go. Of course, I can't control other people's actions, I can't control circumstances outside of my control, but the way that I was not engaging with my community, the way that I was reacting to a lot of close friendships and a lot of close relationships around me, it just wasn't, it didn't feel right. That's the best way that I know how to put it. In my core, when I tap into my body and I start looking at myself, it did not feel right. So I went on that whole journey of realizing that I kind of fucked my life up, and that's totally cool. That's definitely a part of the human experience. And after realizing I needed to build trust in myself, I feel like I was paralyzed for a good month or two from taking any sort of action towards it. I was like, oh my gosh, what am I supposed to do? I don't know what to do. And of course, the I don't know what to do became my mantra. And so because of that, I continued to not know what to do, because that's just the way that it works. But it's all right. We're good. But what really changed for me is I realized that yes, okay, I don't know what to do. So where have I found solutions in the past? And the best solutions for me have come from other business owners, other podcast hosts, as well as books. So I started to try to find podcasts that kind of aligned with what I was trying to learn, and I really couldn't find anything that really felt aligned with me. But I did find 2 books that completely transformed my life and the way that I view trusting myself. So the first book is going to be The Way of Integrity by Martha Beck. It's written as like a self-help book. There's some stories, and then there's also some journal prompts. And some of the journal prompts I still use in my branding strategies today. One of my favorites, don't quote me on this, I think it's called a verb adverb combination, something like that. Basically, the first word is going to end in an ly, and the second word is going to end with an ing. So peacefully loving could be a new mantra for you, or like I use it a lot whenever I'm trying to decipher branding and like the general theme of a brand, because I don't know if you've ever tried to create a one sentence message based off of your business before, when you have like all this knowledge and you see all this goodness in it and you have to create one freaking sentence. That is hard. Won't go into too much more detail about it, but yes, the ling words to create just two words that really summarize your entire brand is, I don't know, it's been really nice. The second book that I would highly recommend is called Triggers by Marshall Goldsmith. I'm pretty sure that's his name. It felt like the sequel to Atomic Habits if James Clear was a grandpa and was like, come here, my child, let me teach you. That's the vibe that I got from it. You might get a different vibe, but that was like the general vibe that I got from it. And I feel like the Triggers book really reframed my mind on how much my environment actually plays a part in my day-to-day life, and how I can actually control my immediate environment around me a little bit more, even if I'm living with other people, even if the community around me is crazy, that I can still control certain aspects of my environment to allow me to move into a different emotional state so that I can retain control over my thoughts, feelings, and actions. It was a really cool book. There's a story in there that I absolutely loved as well. I forget the main business owner that he was helping, but there is this man. He was an outstanding employee. He was young. He was like super like high energy, and he was on his way to become the CEO of this company. And I think it was the current CEO. He called up Marshall and was like, yo bro, we got this really cool kid, but he's kind of having issues with this dude, and we can't have him be a CEO if people don't trust him not to have issues with this person. So Marshall's like, bet, give me a year, I'll figure it out. And so he's like, all right. So they hang up. Then Marshall starts having I think weekly or monthly check-ins with this guy, and basically the whole premise of the book is just like, did I do my best? Did I do my best? You don't have to do your best every single day. You do not have the energy for that. But if you're at a 3 energy and all you can give is your best is also a 3, that's doing your best. Like, that whole idea totally reframed my mind. But into the story real quick, ADHD brain. Into that first story, basically the businessman, he did his best to continually show up for this other coworker that he had problems with, to continue to try to mend and build that relationship with them, and to go all in. And so at first the business owner was like, I can't give him 100%. Like, are you crazy? So Marshall and him talked about giving him 80%. And by the end of all of this, the coworker and the future CEO became really great friends. And the future CEO said that the one thing that he would change is actually going all in, to actually give his 100% towards fixing that relationship. And that can be applied to your work, that can be applied to your social life, that can be applied to your close immediate family members. Like, where do you give your all? Where do you do your best? Where do you give your 100%? And there's going to probably be weeks, maybe even months, if it's something that's unfamiliar to you, that you can't give your 100%, especially if something happens between the dynamic of your guys' relationship where you do have to pull some of that energy back again, and you have to kind of reevaluate where the two of you guys stand and figure out just what makes the most sense for you, your dreams, your passions, your hobbies, and this other person's role in your life. So, The Way of Integrity by Martha Beck and Triggers by Marshall Goldsmith. I just realized they're both M names, that's fine. But these are the two books that completely transformed like me actually showing up for myself and me putting my all in. Like, obviously I've read Atomic Habits by James Clear, and I feel like that was a good start, that was a good foundation, but it didn't change my life the way I needed it to, because being a people pleaser, a retired people pleaser, I still have tendencies, but it's gotten much better, as well as a struggling perfectionist. I continued to put this idea of perfection into myself reading Atomic Habits by James Clear. Like, he was like, you have to show up every single day for this new habit that you're trying to build. And I totally get it, but at the same time, I feel so much better going to the gym 2 to 3 days out of the week and using that other time for other activities like Tai Chi, right? Like, so I don't know, I feel like maybe I didn't understand it right the first few times that I read it, and maybe I applied it wrong because of the mindset that I was currently in when I was like reading it. But I don't know, after reading The Way of Integrity especially, I was like, oh damn, like I can control my life and I don't have to give a crap about anybody else's opinion of me, because I have connected with myself and my God at such a beautiful level that even if I am wrong in some people's eyes, it was right for me, and that's enough. So thank you for being here for my Katie car ride tangent. Let me know just some of the books that you guys have read that you have found really inspiring, and let me know just kind of how the process of learning to trust yourself has gone for you. So I will see you guys next time. Peace.